What's up, everyone? I hope you are all doing well. Are the president's supporters turning against him? Let's get right into it.
Prices are better, gas prices are down. Affordability is a big issue, and everything is more affordable since President Trump has been in office. And we're all making a little more money, I think. The economy is improving with President Trump.
Right now, I'm not seeing much for myself. I'm a small business owner. I have a flower shop here, and I probably just experienced the worst Valentine in my 45-year career as a florist. I'm not sure if it was it being on the weekend or if it was the economy. He's the guy everybody loves to hate, but he's prepared to handle what comes his way. I'm concerned with after he gets out of office, what's on down the road for America. That's very concerning.
It's been tough. I mean, tariffs have been tough, right? I mean, that's a whole different layers of business. But in my opinion, you flip the coin over, look at the positive side, and you make the best out of whatever's in front of you. I'm very grateful to be in business, grateful to live in America where we can actually provide a free economy.
We have big news right now. MAGA has erupted this morning over Donald Trump posting an image of himself as Jesus and attacking the Pope. This is arguably one step too far for many Catholic MAGA supporters of the president. And while there is a major internal civil war brewing right now, supporters of his, like Michael Knowles, says, quote, I assume someone has already told him, but it behooves the president both spiritually and politically to delete the picture, no matter the intent. Brylan Holland, this is gross blasphemy. Faith is not a prop. You do not need to portray yourself as a savior when your record should speak for itself. The same God who saved Trump's life from that bullet sent his son Jesus to die for our sins. He died for Trump just as much as for you and I. Marjorie Taylor Greene, on Orthodox Easter, President Trump attacked the Pope because the Pope is rightly against Trump's war in Iran, and then he posted this picture of himself as if he's replacing Jesus. This comes after last week's post of his evil tirade on Easter, and then threatening to kill an entire civilization. I completely denounce this, and I'm praying against it. The White House attack on the Catholic Church and the evangelical right is going to be the story that really, in my opinion, represents the downfall of a significant chunk of Trump's coalition. We'll see what happens. Spread the word. Follow for more.
I never thought I'd see the day that Trump flipped on Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Alex Jones, and Candace Owens all in the same day, but here we are. If you ask me, he needs to calm down. Those four people will take his entire coalition. I'm not playing, I'm not joking. I don't even want to see that. Trump is going to cannibalize his base against him. Those same online platforms that platformed him, by the way, they're all turning on him. It's not just them. I'm surprised he hasn't talked about Joe Rogan up there yet. I feel like he kind of understands that would be not quote unquote career, but media image. That would be detrimental to his media image. I was going to use a different word. That being said, though, the Iran conflict looks like it was the straw that broke the camel's back for the MAGA movement. And if you ask me, we do have something to be worried about with Tucker Carlson. I'm not the first person to say it, but that whole anti-Zionist grift he's doing right now, if he just pairs that with some conservative base level talking points and says, hey, no new wars plus that, we're going to have a hard time in 2028. It's just what it is. And Trump is very much setting the stage for that. You get him on a debate stage in front of J.D. Vance, in front of fucking Vivek, in front of any of these conservatives that want to be able to take that role, they're going to have a problem. You put him in front of an establishment Democrat, they are going to have a problem. Trump attempting to cannibalize his base against, again, one of the main online voices from his base. It's kind of the same issue that the Democrats have right now. The establishment Democrats, they're pushing that establishment party line. Their base, the actual left that they're supposed to be representing. They don't agree with that establishment philosophy behind the politics. And in the same way we saw Trump use those online platforms and take on some of those talking points to win in 2024, we're kind of seeing him do the opposite by attempting to throw Megyn Kelly, Alex Jones, Candace Owens, and Tucker Carlson under the bus. I'm always posting about stuff like this. Shoot me a follow to stay up to date.
Former Trump supporters have taken to burning their MAGA hats over the president's recent moves. Donald Trump has sparked outrage with his own MAGA supporters after posting what critics have labeled a blasphemous AI-generated image depicting himself as Jesus in a Truth Social post, shortly after unleashing a lengthy rant against Pope Leo XIV. Disillusioned Trump backers have started recording themselves torching their MAGA hats in protest of the president's controversial posts. One video showing a man pouring gasoline over his red MAGA cap before igniting it has racked up over 300,000 views on X. Read our article for details and follow for more news.
They said, he will start a war. I'm not going to start a war. I'm going to stop wars.
Lay down your arms and receive full immunity or face certain death.
She would get us into a World War III guaranteed, and then all of your sons and daughters will end up
getting drafted to go fight for a war in a country that you've never heard of. The lives of courageous American heroes may be lost, and we may have casualties. We're doing this for the future, and it is a noble mission. We go to war, we bomb the crap out of it, and then we leave. You know, it's almost like, what are we doing? What did we get? We got nothing. We destroyed. I mean, we bombed the hell out of everything. We're going to hit them extremely hard over the next 2 to 3 weeks. We're going to bring them back to the Stone Ages where they belong. I'd love my legacy to be made as a great peacemaker, because I really believe I'm a peacemaker. It doesn't seem it right now, but I think I'm a peacemaker. We're giving them till tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, and after that, they're going to have no bridges. They're going to have no power plants. Stone Ages, yeah.
I was a true believer. I was one of his closest advisors. The Trump family became my family. I spent Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's all at Mar-a-Lago. I saw him when the cameras were off. Behind closed doors, Trump mocks his supporters. He calls them basement dwellers. On a hospital visit one time when people were dying in the ICU, he was mad that the cameras were not watching him. He has no empathy, no morals, and no fidelity to the truth. He used to tell me, "It doesn't matter what you say, Stephanie. Say it enough and people will believe you." But it does matter. What you says matter, and what you don't say matters. On January 6th, I asked Melania if we could at least tweet that while peaceful protest is the right of every American, there's no place for lawlessness or violence. She replied with one word: no. I became the first senior staffer to resign that day. I couldn't be part of the insanity any longer. When I was press secretary, I got skewered for never holding a White House briefing. It's because, unlike my boss, I never wanted to stand at that podium and lie. Now here I am, behind a podium, advocating for a Democrat. And that's because I love my country more than my party. Kamala Harris tells the truth. She respects the American people, and she has my vote.
Because I'm gonna be honest with you, and I say this like not loud, because I don't know how everybody got their own opinion, right? Right. I voted for him last November. I voted for him in 2020. I know it's probably shocking because I'm here, but like I would have voted in 2016. That was too young, right? So I couldn't, right? I used to have a political platform online all across social media. I have over 150,000 followers. I used to host protests like this in DC. I used to be a Trumpie, a diehard. I have contacts at the White House, like years ago. I used to, right? I feel like, and again, this is just my opinion, but like I feel like the guy, the Trump before, who he is now, extremely different.
Could you guys please say free Palestine? Yeah. Could you guys say that, please? Yeah. Say free Palestine. Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Free Palestine! Grift from this family is breathtaking. It's breathtaking. Jared Kushner and Ivanka Kushner walk out of the White House and months later get $2 billion from the Saudis? $2 billion from the Saudis. You think it's because he's some kind of investing genius? Or do you think it's because he was sitting next to the President of the United States for 4 years doing favors for the Saudis? That's your money. That's your money he stole. And gave it to his family. You know what that makes us? A banana republic. That's what it makes us.
Harvard has to show us their lists. They have foreign students, about 31% of their students. We want to know where those students come. Are they troublemakers? What countries do they come? If somebody is coming from a certain country and they're 100% fine, which I hope most of them are, but many of them won't be, you're going to see some very radical people. They're taking people from areas of the world that are very radicalized, and we don't want them making trouble in our country.
Hey, stop what you're doing right now and take a little time to go ahead, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Let's get back to it.
Here is the Latinas for Trump co-founder, all right, talking about Stephen Miller going after undocumented minors and foster care, okay? She advocated so hard for Trump to get elected. How can she be so shocked Trump is doing what he said he's gonna do? When someone says multiculturalism and immigration is gonna collapse the entire country, and if we don't get everyone out right now, we are gonna all die as a civilization, all right? You and your loved ones will be caught up in that. They're going after workers in Home Depots, in diners, at farms, agriculture. They're going after school kids in first grade, second grade classrooms. They're going after people looking for a chance to work hard in America, to be good neighbors, to contribute to this great country. They're going after individuals to get numbers up. They want to deport people to get quota numbers, to hit quotas. It's a game to them. They want high scores. Stephen Miller told ICE, he screamed at them and said, don't go after criminals. Don't go after criminals. It's too hard. It takes too much time. I want to get as many brown people out of America as we can as soon as possible. Stephen Miller told ICE those exact words. Don't go after criminals, go after innocent people. Now ICE is raiding foster care systems.
Anthony.
Yeah.
What do you think about all these Trump supporters starting to say this isn't what they voted for?
I think it's the first real break we've seen in the armor of the MAGA cult, and I think it's critical that we encourage the mental dissonance they're having rather than rebuke them for it. I said in one of our previous videos that a pattern that I see with the Republican base is that when Trump does something that they disagree with, they'll complain about it for a day or two in conservative circles until Fox News or other right-wing media comes along and tells them what their opinion should be, and then they change that opinion, right? I've seen it with Medicaid. I see it when their family members are deported. I even saw it when Trump deployed the National Guard to Los Angeles. As much as they really dislike Los Angeles, there was a lot of complaints in the conservative community that he was overstepping his reach and that the military should not be deployed on U.S. ground. But all of those complaints only lasted a day or two. Ever since they said that the Epstein files don't exist, that pattern has broken. They've been complaining about this for weeks in conservative communities, and it's getting worse, not better.
How is that?
Well, when we're seeing all this attention on social media for these talking heads like Andrew Schultz, Joe Rogan, and even Candace Owens to some degree backtracking on their support for Trump, it's important to remember that these people in power are most likely being disingenuous, right? They're more concerned about the fact that their base is turning against Trump, their viewers, than his actual opinions. When Trump's actual voters say that I didn't vote for this, they usually mean that, at least in the sense that they didn't understand that they were voting for this. Racism, deportations, all of that, sure, they knew what they were voting for there. But when we're talking about Medicaid changes, foreign wars, huge increases in the deficit, they didn't think that they were voting for that. And they certainly didn't think that they were voting to have a PDF file in office, and that's causing more dissonance for them than ever before, and I'll take it.
Why?
So, I think it's really important to remember that MAGA, it's a populist movement at its core. Trump ran on draining the swamp and exposing corruption, and most recently on releasing these Epstein files. And a lot of the Congress members that support Trump do so because they're afraid of his base, but I bet that they would turn on him in a second if they had the chance. And if enough of Trump's base turns because of the mental dissonance that the Epstein file cover-up is causing, I think we could see enough Congress members turn on Trump to impeach him. If Trump is removed from power, then the base that is supporting a lot of the old Republican guard could turn on them as well and try to get rid of these establishment Republicans, just like the left is trying to get rid of a lot of establishment Democrats to bring new, younger representatives that care more about the common person than corporate interests. We would see the whole Republican Party collapse, and we could see some real changes in the U.S. There's a lot that it would take to make that happen. It's certainly not as simple as it is to say. If we can get his base to focus on the Epstein files, focus on the dissonance that those files are causing, and by extension, other dissonance that they felt before that they've been lied to, and turn against Trump, I think we can see real change. We just have to avoid the urge to say, I told you so.
We're now getting word that Donald Trump has summoned Lauren Boebert because he apparently is trying to block the release of the Epstein files. Then there's ridiculous nonsense provisions in the bill to open the government that Trump signed yesterday. Fucking embarrassing. So what this all looks like is A, you don't give a fuck about anybody except billionaires. That's all you give a shit about. The average American basically means nothing to you. That's what that tells me. So I have to say, my disappointment with Donald Trump has turned almost parabolic recently. As much as I like a lot of Trump's plans, the trolling, the memes, and the badass videos are not enough to stay off the fact that, well, we're kind of getting as an American population here. So we can make fun of liberals all day, but that's not restoring America, and that's not bringing upward mobility to the population. Release the goddamn Epstein files!
Guys, it's happening. Trump supporters are finally starting to turn on Donald Trump. And the reason for that is it turns out you can't just march out in front of the cameras and tell the American people that higher prices are fake news and Jeffrey Epstein is a hoax made up by Democrats. Now, there might be a few blind loyalists that can get behind that, but to everybody else, that is objectively ridiculous. And after Trump's interview on Fox News with Laura Ingraham, where he talked about 50-year mortgages and how we need to bring in immigrants from other countries to work here because we don't have the talent here in America, Trump's supporters are finally realizing that he is not America first. He is billionaire first. Now, I'm not sure if these people are ready to jump ship just yet, but I am seeing disillusioned Trump supporters all over TikTok at this point, and I've been screen recording all of them. So let me know if you want to see more where this came from. All right? Okay. Love you guys. Talk soon.
This is strike three. I supported him. I defended him. I even told people early on, trust the process. I was wrong. This right here is strike three, but I'll come back to that in a minute. First, it was the Epstein files. We were promised transparency. Then suddenly they disappeared, and anyone still asking questions is told, stop following me as the president. That's not accountability. That's silencing your own supporters. Then Iran, and don't get me wrong, Iran has been yelling death to America for decades. They've sponsored more terrorism and proxy groups than anyone else. They were directly involved, especially with a lot of the parts and materials for bombs, with a lot of American soldiers getting catastrophically injured and taken out in Iraq and Afghanistan. You could have just told us Iran was evil and that we weren't gonna placate them anymore. But you had to spin it. You had to throw the propaganda. We were told their nuclear capabilities were completely destroyed after dropping a series of bunker busters. But then, all of a sudden, they're close to a nuke again, and here we are at war. Which one is it? Spin after spin. The story changed multiple times. I watched it all in real time. The propaganda was beyond obvious. Do they think we're that stupid? Clearly they do, because if you disagree, you're called a low IQ person. And now this image, posting a picture of yourself as Jesus, then deleting it and saying you were supposed to be a doctor in that photo. Again, stop lying to us. You messed up badly. Be a man and own it. This is the problem. Post something completely outrageous. There's a big reaction, then you delete it, then you spin it. That's not leadership. I hate to say it. That's manipulation. I did believe drain the swamp. It never happened. I believed in accountability, and it was coming. It never happened. I believed things would be different, and they are different in a lot of ways that I really love, but not for the most important ones. My priorities are simple: God, family, country, faith, morality, values, and truth. Those come before any man, before any party. This is how great nations fail. When people stop questioning, when loyalty replaces principles, that's when countries fail. Because history shows it comes when leaders and institutions lose all credibility. We already went through that crap with Obama and Biden. I supported him, and I was wrong. He has a lot of damage to undo, and I really hope he does. There's only one that we can rely on, and that's Jesus Christ, the Son of the living God. So if you're okay with burying the Epstein truths, letting victims never see their abusers pay the price, at the end, a man depicting himself as Jesus, I don't know what to tell you, except if you meet Jesus in the end, the only words he's going to say to you will be, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity.
You didn't get a wall. You didn't drain the swamp. You didn't get affordable health care. You didn't eliminate the national debt. You didn't get new infrastructure. You didn't get Hillary Clinton locked up. You didn't get Epstein accountability. You didn't get a $5,000 Doge check. You didn't get a $2,000 stimulus check. You didn't get lower grocery prices. You didn't get help buying a home. You didn't get America first. You didn't even get peace. You lost family, friends, and credibility. So, what did you gain?
We have big news this evening. Republicans are declaring a 5-alarm fire because Donald Trump's approval rating is now at the lowest point in either of his first or second terms, coming in at just 33%. At this rate, he may soon fall below 30% because we're getting word soon that gas prices, the average for a gallon of gas in the United States of America, may surpass $4 as soon as this week. And you have folks within the Republican Party saying, for the love of all that is holy, we need to get out of Iran and work full-time on people's financial worries. But this is not the only issue for them, because for the first time since Donald Trump took office, new polling shows that Americans believe that the economy was better under Joe Biden, not under Donald Trump. A major shift, 5-alarm fire. I'll have more updates for you soon, as always, so spread the word and follow along, stay up to date on all the news you need to know about. There'll be another update for you soon.
People don't like him for a reason, of all the terrible things he's done. If he did nice things, and he had the chance, he became president to do nice things, not hateful, retribution, not just outright mean things. If he did nice things, people would love him. But he's got a problem. He's damaged.
Yesterday, the president threatened to destroy Iran's civilization, the entire civilization. Not the Iranian government, but the Iranian civilization, the Iranian people. The U.S. has been a moral leader for most of its history by fighting wars against other governments, not against civilizations. How can the president claim that America can ever have the moral high ground if he's threatening to destroy civilizations and not casting wars as fights against other governments?
Andrew, I think you should take a look at the actions of this president over the course of the past 6 weeks and the actions of our brave men and women in our United States military who have taken out essentially taken out the military of a rogue Islamic regime that has chanted death to America for 47 years, that has killed and maimed thousands of American soldiers over the course of the last 5 decades. The president absolutely has the moral high ground over the Iranian terrorist regime, and for you to even suggest otherwise is frankly insulting.
Due respect, Caroline.
Go ahead.
Imagine being this sanctimonious when defending your boss threatening to wipe out an entire civilization. I actually agree with Caroline on one thing. America should have the moral high ground, but this is what that used to sound like. When George W. Bush announced the invasion of Iraq, he said that our enemy is not the Iraqi people, but a regime that has oppressed them for decades, and he emphasized the need to minimize civilian harm. That's how presidents have traditionally drawn a line between governments and innocent people. Now let's compare that to what Trump said. Trump said, a whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. And the fact that the press secretary was offended by the reporter's question and not Trump threatening genocide tells you everything you need to know.
$5.99 for a regular sized bag of Doritos. Are you freaking kidding me?
I told my nephew, go pick out your favorite juice, but
99.10.
nah, nigga, we got water at the crib. I mean, let's go.
This used to be $3 to $4. This is $9.29 for a case of sodas.
Look at this, $3.29 for a regular damn Hershey's bar. You guys are smoking crack.
10 pretzels in there, right? $25 fucking dollars, dude.
Bankruptcies are skyrocketing in the United States. Look at this, farmers going bankrupt, restaurants going bankrupt, Americans going bankrupt. What's more troubling is the people who are delinquent on their house payments, their car payments, their student loan payments, their credit card payments that haven't yet reached that bankruptcy state. Bankruptcy is up in general for personal and business about 12% higher than it was in 2024. Small business bankruptcy is up 60%. If you did not know, small business makes up 98% of businesses in the United States. Done several posts about restaurants closing, going bankrupt. Bankruptcy hurts everyone because creditors don't get paid. Hi, my name's Christina. I have a master's degree in accounting and also a bachelor's degree in business. I post about all things economic news and about the economy. It's important for you to keep up to date. Please don't spend money. Please do a written budget and plan your paychecks. Look at your budget, cut back on expenses you don't need. If you found this informative, please like, comment, and follow and share for more updates on the economy. Buckle up, ladies and gentlemen.
So now
when grocery prices spike, when people are paying, significantly more for basic items like eggs, milk, bread, meat, it forces a kind of reality check. You are standing in the store looking at your total and thinking, wait, how did we get here? And that's when the frustration really sets in. Online, you can see people expressing shock. Some are saying they can afford the same groceries they used to buy. Others are cutting back, skipping items, or even talking about how stressful it's become just to feed their families. And a common thread in many of this reaction is disbelief, like this wasn't supposed to happen. But here's the thing, many people did not say this would happen. Black communities in particular have a long history of being skeptical about policies that sound good but have hidden costs. That skepticism doesn't come from nowhere. It comes from, lived experiences. When you have seen how economic decisions can hit marginalized, communities first and hardest, you tend to pay closer attention to fine print. So when warnings were given about rising costs,
Okay. Welcome to the resistance.
The fact that Melania is coming out now lends me to believe there could be some news about her in the future. But if not, and if she's truly trying to clear her name, then she should come before the Oversight Committee and testify before us under oath. People will believe her more if she has a story to tell. We know that she was in the files and she wrote very intimate emails with Ghislaine Maxwell, and she's pictured with Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein. She denies a close relationship, and that's fine. That's her prerogative. But instead of her trying to put the prerogative on the survivors to come forward and testify publicly, she should be the one testifying publicly.
Well, guys, it happened. The MAGA base is officially turning on their dear leader, Donald Trump. And I want to give y'all a few seconds to come up with your guesses as to what did them in. All right, got your guesses? All right, let's speed run through these. If you guessed racism, you'd be wrong. If you guessed Islamophobia, you'd be wrong. If you guessed xenophobia, you'd be wrong. If you guessed misogyny, you'd be wrong. If you guessed transphobia or homophobia, you'd be wrong. If you guessed the economy, you'd be wrong. If you guessed his lack of doing anything at all productive for anyone in this country besides himself, you'd be wrong. If you guessed his 34 felony convictions, you'd be wrong. If you guessed the constant lies and vulgarities at all times, you'd be wrong. But if you guessed the glaringly obvious dementia, you'd still be wrong. If you guessed his love of violence, you'd be wrong. If you guessed the SA and rape, you'd be wrong. If you guessed the pedophilia, you'd be wrong. If you guessed the non-stop rules for me but not for thee hypocrisy, you'd be wrong. But if you guessed religion, you, my friend, would be correct. I know. That was my face too. That was their deal-breaking moment. Not any of the other stuff, which included literal crimes. No. It was when he mocked their religion. After posting this picture depicting himself as Jesus Christ, healing someone who bears an uncanny resemblance to Epstein, even the most fervent, hysterical, triple Trump voting members of the MAGA cult, the ones indoctrinated so deep that they are experiencing full-on religious psychosis all day, every day, are saying, finally, that they are done with him. Now, do I think they all 100% mean it and will stick to it? No. But I have been saying for quite a while now that this will all begin to end when those who support him the most begin to stop doing that. And at the risk of calling it too early, I think we may be witnessing that right now, as we speak. But what do y'all think? Are we witnessing the downfall of Donald Trump, experiencing his undoing in real time? Comment your thoughts below and do me a favor, do all the things you can to push this out. Like, share, repost, and follow me because there's definitely gonna be more where this came from.
So how are we
the people that voted for Donald Trump supposed to continue to support him when his name has been mentioned 5,000 times in these files that have been dropped?
We're going to play this video in full. But first, we have to fact check her in real time. Check this out. It wasn't 5,000 times that his name was mentioned. It was 38,000 times across the files, including mentions of Trump, Melania Trump, Mar-a-Lago, and related terms. It's mind-blowing. Did you really have to see the files to know? All the pictures with him and Jeff. All the pictures with him, Jeff, Ghislaine Maxwell, Melania. All those pictures with them together. The videos with them together. That wasn't enough. I guess I'm going to have to do it. I told you so. We told you so. Before I show my audience your video, I want you to know something. You were used. Not only by him, by MAGA. You were used. Let me show you how I know. This is how I know. They never cared about the children. This is what they cared about. And I'm going to read this to you. From App Patriot Girl. I don't know about you, but I voted for retribution and revenge. I voted for Trump to crush the left so badly that they are afraid to show their faces in the light of day. I voted for swift, vicious justice and no mercy. It's a good thing that I'm not God, because hell would be a lot more crowded right now. It was never about the children. No, not about the children. We knew that. We knew that. It was always about revenge. Swift, vicious revenge. They don't care what they do as long as they own the libs. It's a sickness. And you were used by them. Your intentions were pure. Your intentions was to save the children. All the stuff they put in your head about the Dems and what they did to the children, or what they said they did, was bullshit. It's always been on the other side, on the side that you voted for. Now, knowing this, let's watch your video.
So how are we, the people that voted for Donald Trump, supposed to continue to support him when his name has been mentioned 5,000 times in these files that have been dropped? Honestly, I'm a little bit shocked at how people from my party, I'm a conservative, I have conservative values, voted for Trump, etc. How are we making excuses for Trump? I'm truly baffled because he wasn't convicted. I mean, how do you get your name mentioned that many times? I think it's time that we hold these people accountable that are doing these disgusting things to children. Irregardless of who you voted for, what you support, we can call something bad that is bad and still be conservative, you know? Just because we criticize a particular person or people, that does not mean that we're like some leftist liberal. You know, they're calling the Epstein files a Democratic hoax. How is this a hoax?
Now, I know my smart followers and smart subscribers, their ears squealed when you said irregardless. It's just regardless. You could fix it. You could fix it by voting blue in November, in the midterms. You could fix your vote. You could save the children by just voting blue in November. I used to be conservative just like you too. I used to be fed the bullshit just like you. Until one day I said, they're lying to us. And then I changed. I went from conservative Republican to independent. And now I am a registered Democrat. All the bullshit that you've heard about the left is a lie. The Republican Party used reverse psychology on you. They used it on you to vote for them. So everything that you actually hate right now is actually the right. Stop being a momo. Open your ears, open your eyes, and do the right thing. Vote blue in November. Tell me what you guys think about this in the comments. And if you haven't thrown me a follow yet, please do. Have a day!
In 2 weeks, I'm done. You want to talk about regretting your vote?
I never thought I'd say that, but I regret my vote. I voted for Trump.
I voted for Trump, and I regret it now.
I, as a Hispanic, I voted for Donald J. Trump. Dude, I regret it so much, man.
I am regretting my vote for Donald Trump.
I voted for Donald Trump, and now I regret it.
A lot of people who were like me voted for Trump and have to account for that.
I regret voting for Trump.
So deeply regret my vote for Donald Trump.
I regret voting for Trump.
I was a dumbass, voted for Trump. It was the worst decision I ever made.
I've seen the light, and I got out of MAGA.
People are having their power bill. They can't pay the power bill. They're having the power shut off. They can't pay for it. How bad is this going to get? I often wonder. Like, he is so out of touch.
Hold on, what did you just say about Trump?
I said, Trump's a fucking liar. Inflation's going up. Gas prices hasn't really come down that much. Eggs, that's the funny one. The eggs. I'm mad. And I'm a mega man. Okay? I don't see anything he's done.
So is it safe to say that the illusion has faded?
I think it has, yes. You know, I was for him.
Yeah, I want to jump on the bandwagon of saying that I regret my vote for Trump. My whole family does. My husband and I own a farm in Ohio that was funded through the Inflation Reduction Act, which Biden signed into law. And now the executive orders from Trump are rolling back all of that funding for us. So
of my money. Don't you give $20 billion of our money to the leader of Argentina so that he can just give it over to Netanyahu. Now, listen to you. You need to start doing the will of the people, not what you think. You are becoming a dictator, and I'm telling you that right now. You are not doing.
I will not be supporting him anymore. He's part of the deep state. He's committing genocide as we speak in Israel. And we all need to start waking up.
He was saying this is the greatest deal for peace in the Middle East. Everybody agrees with us. Everybody's on board. It's going to be a great thing. Did that walkout not happen at the UN General Assembly? I mean, I know I have my mixed emotions about the UN. We all do, right? But did that not happen? Did all those nations change their mind? Or do they not matter? Those are my questions. Am I allowed to ask these? Because apparently not. I voted for Trump. I don't
trust the government, and I don't know who to believe, and I don't know what to think anymore. I don't want to think that it's not true. I'm not happy that it's true, but I don't want to think that it's some kind of a fucking setup. It's some kind of a smoke and mirror show. I don't want to think that it's some kind of a distraction to distract us from what's really going on, like the economy and Epstein. But I don't know what to think anymore. It's so scary when you can't even trust your own fucking government.
I won't forget about it. Don't gaslight me anymore, fat orange man. I swear, I cannot believe I fell for all that, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm sorry it took so long, but at least at least I see it now. A lot of people in my
Like, I was all for fucking Trump, dude. I was all for Trump. And then hearing this whole fucking thing of like, so yes,
This video is to show you several more videos of people that are leaving MAGA on the right and that are questioning the government so that you can see some of these things for yourself, especially if they're not coming through on your algorithm. And one of the things I want you to look at is that while a lot of people on here say like, no, the Charlie Kirk thing made so many more people join or made them stronger. And I don't think that's true. I just think that people that already believe, were voicing that again. Like, you're like, I can't believe that they said that, but they already believed it. So that's what you're seeing. Plus you're getting a lot of airtime with Erica, the grieving widow, with fireworks. So, they're just trying to hype that up and all that stuff. But what it did was because Candace Owens especially, but Nick Fuentes and Tucker Carlson stuff, digging into the Israel stuff, it has had them realize that our government is essentially owned by Israel. They did not know this before. Like, because it's a religious cult as well. So you just back Israel no matter what. That's what it says in the Old Testament. And so it's like you just tune out anything else. But people are literally asking friends and family on that side, like if they know there's a genocide, they're like, what? They don't know because they don't need to know, right? They live in this bubble, this isolated bubble. And some of these people found out that they lived in a bubble and started going, okay, we have to change our algorithms because we're only getting propaganda from our side and we're not seeing the big picture here. So anyway, I just want you to, notice there's a lot of the Israel thing that's waking them up. So I'm going to go ahead. There's several of them. So I'm just going to be quiet and let them play.
Trump 3 times, and I never thought I'd be telling my own side to diversify your fucking algorithms. I never thought this would happen, but do you not know the death toll in Gaza right now? Is this just something we're going to ignore? Do you think it's just a few thousand still? Really? No. And let's do a little thought experiment. So many IDF soldiers on the ground in that region during the October 7th event. And not to mention, reinforcements could have been there within an hour. But for 6 hours, Israel live streamed the slaughter. Just think about that.
I don't know what to think anymore. I literally trust nobody. I don't trust anybody, man. Definitely don't trust the government. And I don't know who to believe, and I don't know what to think anymore. I don't want to think that it's not true. I'm not happy that it's true, but I don't want to think that it's some kind of a fucking setup. It's some kind of a smoke and mirror show. I don't want to think that it's some kind of a distraction to distract us from what's really going on, like the economy and Epstein. But I don't know what to think anymore. It's so scary when you can't even trust your own fucking government. And it just seems like this whole thing is nothing but deception, corruption, lies, division. This country has never been more fucking divided than in the last 2 weeks. Look at the fucking mess. Look at the fighting and the arguing and the backstabbing and the lying and the turning in and the accusing this person of that and that person of that. The left faces the right and the right hate the left. This is fucking insane.
Former MAGA, he doesn't care about anyone in this country. He wants to take away your health insurance, your kids' health insurance, your kids' education. He wants to take away the safety of the United States. He appointed a bunch of morons to all his cabinet positions. Nobody who's going to help a single one of us. Just let go. No one's going to blame you. We're happy if you leave. You'll be happier if you leave too.
Yes, me too. MAGA from day one. Y'all, MAGA is a spell. First and foremost, it's this patriotic Christian talking points, very spell-like. And it's captivating. Like it's I gotta say, it's fun. It was fun. It took so long. Well, I'm sorry. Like, it's just when it's an echo chamber of information that we get our news from, Fox News, people that you learn to love and trust. And whenever they lied about the shooter, like, I realized they're lying and have been lying to me for over a decade now since I've been.
Mr. Trump, see this? I was your supporter. I used to love you. I used to vote for you. I used to believe in you. But don't you dare give any of my money. Don't you give $20 billion of our money to the leader of Argentina so that he can just give it over to Netanyahu. Now, listen to you. You need to start doing the will of the people, not what you think. You are becoming a dictator, and I'm telling you that right now. You are not doing what you said you were going to do. You say you are, but you're not, and you're dragging feet. You're dragging your feet. And how about your son-in-law in bed with Netanyahu? Your son-in-law, Jared Kushner. No wonder. God damn it. You are not taking care of that swamp in Israel.
Getting so much hate from my own side just for asking questions, so allow me to ask some more. When Trump was up in front of everybody standing next to Netanyahu saying this is the greatest deal for peace in the Middle East, everybody agrees with us, everybody's on board, it's going to be a great thing. Did that walkout not happen at the UN General Assembly? I mean, I know I have my mixed emotions about the UN. We all do, right? But did that not happen? Did all those nations change their mind? Or do they not matter? Those are my questions. Am I allowed to ask these? Because apparently not. I voted for Trump 3 fucking times. He won all 3 times. I was at the Capitol on January 6th. I was sold out MAGA up until one of my favorite people on the planet got shot in front of the whole world. And I started paying attention to the questions.
So we want to know your opinion about everything. Are you jumping ship? Are you still going to be a strong Trump supporter? Have you ever been a Trump supporter? Are you kind of in the middle? Whatever it is, drop your comments down in the comments section, and we'll see you all next time.